It's Ledecky and the American record holder, Allison Schmitt, 2 Olympic champions, going head-to-head. Can Ledecky win this wire to wire?
Ledecky's tightened up just a little bit. The field's coming back up there toward the top. Is Simone Manuel, but this still looks like Schmitt and Ledecky.
But it's going to be Ledecky. What a turnaround. She wins this wire to wire. Allison Schmitt will get second, and Gabby DeLoaf will get third.
Wow.
Yes, Allison Schmitt is going to Tokyo, but first of all, she's got to get through us here on the Deck Pass live desk. Yeah, and there's another champion back there, Ryan Murphy.
Hi, Ryan.
Yes, you are watching Deck Pass Live, presented by Xfinity. I'm Jeff Cummings, joined with Amy Van Dyke, and as I said, Allison Schmitt is here. Allison, I know everybody was excited about, not just getting second at 200 free, just being in that final. And you get second, you're going to Tokyo for Pan Pacs. Has it sunk in yet?
I'm excited. It's all part of the journey, and I'm very proud of where I am right now. I don't think anyone really expected this, but to know that I do have another chance, I'm going in an international meet this summer. I'm ecstatic for it, and I'm more grateful to be here and very thankful for everyone who's been around the whole journey. And like I can't thank my parents, my friends, my teammates, the ASU swim team, Bob, Michael, Nicole. Everyone has shown me tremendous support.
It was an absolutely amazing moment. I think, yeah, everybody was expecting KU to win, and I think everybody was hoping for you to get second. Now, we're going to watch the last, 60 meters of the race here, and what I noticed is that you were kind of getting over to the lane rope. Were you trying to purposely try to catch a little draft there from Katie?
Come on. Yeah, it happens. I mean, for 18 years now, I know a little bit.
So here, you're turning, you see Katie, you're right at her feet. Did you know that you were in second place?
I didn't really know what place I was at that point. All I could really see was Katie's feet. So I just knew that I had to keep doing what we've been training every day and see what happens when I hit the wall.
So now let's be honest, if you're at Katie's feet, you're probably doing pretty well, right, Allison?
If you're within a 50 of Katie, I think you're going to be okay.
Nice.
And so right at the end, you see you get second, and then almost immediately Katie comes over and just bear hugs you, like basically, what did it feel like to get that hug from Katie at the end of the race?
I think all the emotions just sunk in. I mean, just knowing that we were on our first relay in 16 together, and we thought that was our last relay together, and knowing that we get another shot of it in 2 weeks, I think it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask you, woman to woman, how do you get your hair in a cap?
Well,
right?
I do use a hair management system under the cap.
Okay.
I gotta manage this. But
right? I was gonna say, you've got a lot of hair.
There is a lot of hair there, but it can be managed, squeezed into that cap. I'm sure pretty tight, more than anyone else wearing it.
I think all of you women who swim in this meet need like a team. Because it doesn't take, it's more than one person that probably takes, not just to get your suits on these days, but to get the caps on. I mean, you got 2 caps now. I mean, one is easy, but the other one, I see people try to put those caps on. You don't get it right the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so hard. I mean,
we need the team for everything. I mean, putting the caps on every day in practice, we need that team every second. I know that I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for the support and the team that I have around me.
It's been absolutely amazing. I was watching Bob watch you swim. I think he was probably more excited for that swim than anything that Michael Phillips ever did. I'm really serious, because I've seen Bob be excited about some races, but he was extremely excited. So tell me about kind of the journey it's taken for you to come back to Bob and get to this point.
We've been through a lot together. I mean, he has seen me grow up from the little. I mean, when he got there in 2004, I was 14. I started training with him at 16, and I'm 28 now. So we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot of ups and downs. So from the moment that I walked into his office and mentioned coming back, I said, hey, we can pretend we never had this conversation and go on our way after this door closes. And he was full support, and I have felt that support since the second I stepped into his office and back on the pool deck.
When you talk about support, you've got a lot of support. You've got the fans in the stands, but you've also got a lot of other people. You've been very, very outspoken about mental health, and so much so that not only are you affecting people who are home watching, you're affecting your fellow swimmers. Take a look.
Thank you.
You know, Allison Schmitt really inspires me as well, because in 2016 I had a really big problem with mental health. So coming back like this is really a testament to the people that have been starting to talk about it. And
so there's Micah. What does that mean to you right now watching that? We saw you kind of put your hand over your eyes. You're tearing up.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I know it's not the easiest for her to say, and if I can use any of this platform, I know swimming is such a small part of life. Sport's a small part of life, and I have such a passion for this sport and love it so much, and to be able to come back and now to be able to use that as a platform to talk about something so much bigger than our sport and talk about mental health. And I mean, at the end of the day, whether you're an athlete, you're an average Joe, no matter what you do as your occupation, we all put our head down on a pillow and go to sleep. We wake up and we put our pants on. So to be able to have that influence, I mean, it means the world to me to hear that.
Yeah, and I actually had dealt with depression a lot, not during my elite swimming career, but in my 30s. And like you just don't know what the next day is going to be like. And you know, it's something that's never fully cured. I mean, you always have those moments, always coming back, and then you have those great days. So, you know, how have you been able to manage that?
It's day by day. I mean, I think you guys can both say the same exact thing. There's happy days, there's harder days, but just being able to turn to your support system. I'm able to be a lot more vulnerable now with my inner circle. And they understand when I have bad days that doesn't mean that everything that day is bad, but they're able to help me out of that. And Amy, I know that, I mean, you amaze me to know that you come back from your injury in your accident, and look at you. You would never be able to tell. You're such a shining personality, and I just love that about you.
Thank you. I adore you, and I'm so thankful that you are speaking out on behalf for so many people and helping so many out there. But it had to have been hard to speak about it the first time. What was that decision process like, being able to kind of get that gumption up to say, listen, I am dealing with mental health? I remember when I saw it the first time, I teared up. How was it for you?
It was hard. I actually left the interview the first time. I started speaking about it. It was at Charlotte Grand Prix, left the interview, and then came back and finished it. I think I left for like a half hour. But I mean, I know how much it affects so many people out there, and I know that my cousin lost her life to mental illnesses, and she saved me and allowed me to speak out about it and to get help about it, and I know that if I can speak about it now and have her shining down at us, that can make a huge difference in this world.
Yeah.
You are awesome.
Well, you talked about having the good days and the bad days, the happy days, the sad days. I know this is forever going to be a happy day. Yay! And I can imagine even the next few days getting ready to go to Tokyo are going to be happy days. And we're thrilled beyond the moon. I think everybody watching is thrilled beyond the moon just to see you back on an international squad. And we know that this is going to mean a lot of great things for this year, next year, and hopefully even 2020, Allison.
Thank you. I know that next few weeks be some hard days doing that training again, ramping up that training after taper, but I know that we'll have Team USA and the whole staff on our sides.
Yes, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Allison, thank you so much for joining us. It's been
Thanks,
a
Allison. Love you.
thrill to be able to talk to you again.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, so thank you very much to Allison, and we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to talk about some other races that took place tonight here at the Phillips 66 National Championships.
With new flexible USA swimming memberships, you can be on America's swim team and still do the other things you love.
So many things that I want to try.
All right, we're back here at the Phillips 66 National Championship. C&D Finals still going on here. We're back here at the warm-up pool for the second part of Deck Pass Live. Look who we got with us. Olympic champion and now national champion 200 backstroke, Ryan Murphy. Thanks for stopping by here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
I know you're on your way out. I know you're starving after that 200 backstroke. So we just want to kind of show you a little bit of the race and just kind of talk us through this.
Yep.
What I really was impressed with was at your third 50. You just really took off from the pack, and this is your last 50 after that breakout. Now, obviously that camera, the camera view we're watching is going right over you. That had to help you.
It did. It did. You know, it's a conversation that I've had with Mike Unger for a little while now. He's always been like, so do you like the camera overhead or not? And I was like, as long as it's not going diagonal, I can deal with it. And, you know, so it's nice that, you know, my feedback was taken there. And I think it does provide a cool angle for the fans as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So 154.15. That's pretty good. I know it's not the fastest time in the world, but I'm sure. Did you even know what the fastest time in the world was going into the race?
I still don't know what the fastest time
I think
in the world is.
It's just a couple tenths faster.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, I mean, that is a very good time. And you know, you had your teammate Jacob Pebley on one side of you, Austin Katz on the other side, really pushing you that first 100. And obviously, you've done enough 200 backstrokes in your life to know how to be patient. So, how were you able to manage that first 100 when they were really pushing the pace?
Yeah, I mean, the nice part of backstroke is you can't really see too much. So, you know, I don't know where the splashes are coming from, if it's the start of the stroke or if it's when they're hitting the water. So, yeah, I was kind of doing my own thing and just looking on the turn, seeing where I was at. And I don't know, I try to stay pretty chill at the beginning and then just build from there. So that's what I went.
Okay,
again.
You kind of answered this question a little bit, but it's something that I've always wanted to know, being a freestyler and a butterflyer. Do you look at the scoreboard and see your splits and all of that as you're swimming?
Yeah, I do. This scoreboard is tricky, though, because I don't know how quick that clear time is, but I think it's like 5 seconds. Okay. Because I haven't been able to see my split yet. So it was a little bit frustrating this morning.
Yeah.
Because I was like trying to, you know, just like not try harder than I had to, but I ended up having to watch the video instead of the actual clock.
Well, that's what you have to do, whatever works. So,
that's right.
Ryan, thanks so much for joining us for a really quick call. Congratulations, and we know the rest of the meet's going to be just gravy for you now.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, so we're going to take a look. We're going to also show the women's 200 backstroke, and this was an epic race. We had Reagan Smith and Kathleen Baker.
What a race between these two. Baker with the white cap, and here comes Reagan Smith. She's flailing at the end. This is going right to the touch between Baker and Smith, and it is a tie. They tie for the championship. Wow. And what a push by Reagan Smith in the last 20 meters to tie Kathleen Baker for the title.
I have to say something quickly, really quickly. As we saw that tie, that rarely happens. You hardly ever see it. Jeff was next to me and we were watching it, and literally they get under the flags and he goes, "It's going to be a tie." And I'm like, "There's no way, they're not even. It's a tie."
And I was like, "Whoa, they really did tie."
So here's the thing. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take Jeff to Vegas, and we're going to start betting on things, because apparently you're Nostradamus part 2.
I guess so. You know, we'll get the, you know, right as the last shot of the NBA final, I'll say, what's going to happen? He's going to hit that 3. Bet on it now. I bet it's going to happen.
You were pretty good. I was really impressed with you.
I just think that was the way it was going to happen. It was destined to happen.
It was awesome. It was really cool that you did that.
All right, let's go to another exciting race, men's 200 freestyle. And just like last night in the men's 100 freestyle, we were looking at some of the real top athletes, Townley Haas and Blake Peroni. And then off this wall at the 150, there goes Andrew Seliskar, lane number 4, and he just takes the lead off these established 200 freestylers.
I love watching this, and this is where you really see guys and girls that have a lot of experience, because they kick it into another gear if they're not doing as well as they think they should, and that's what we saw right there.
And Andrew is holding him off. Townley is second from the bottom, and I thought Townley was going to win it, and then Andrew Seliskar gets in there. Blake Peroni hangs in there for second. That's Andrew Seliskar's first national title, which I thought was going to come eventually, but I thought maybe 200 fly, 200 IM, maybe even 400 IM. It happens in the 200 freestyle.
Right. Well, you know, during the college season, he was working on his freestyle a lot more, and so I think that really did help him, and it was really fun to watch it, wasn't it? I wish you would have been there, and you could have been like, Seliskar for the win.
Yeah. Well, I knew it. After that 150, I knew it was going to happen. So congratulations to Selly. It was just an absolute fun race.
It really was.
All right. So, and again, another exciting race. We're just keep talking exciting races. Men's 200 breaststroke. Josh Pernot really hammered that third 50 and just made it his race. And coming home the last 50, nobody was going to catch him. Andrew, who took it out really fast under world record pace, right there closest to us, was hanging on. But Josh Pernot, look at this. He doesn't even look like he's tiring. Everybody else is really tightening up, but he's just going and going and going. He's eyeing that wall, laser focus, and everybody thought maybe he was going to break his American record of 2:07.1, and he just missed a 2:07.2, but that is the fastest time in the world, and he's going to be racing against the record holder, Ipe Watanabe of Pan Pacs, in a couple weeks. That's going to be an epic race.
Oh, that's going to be such a fun race. And here's the thing. If you watched this at home, which I know you all did, and then you turned into us at Deck Pass Live here, but if you watch it at home, you just watch how he swims between his own lane lines. You know, he's not really paying attention to what's going on, because if he did, he would have taken it out a lot faster. Yeah. But he knew his race. He knew his pacing. He's been working on it, and he knew he was going to kick it into gear right at that 150 wall, and he did.
And I'm just really happy because, as we know, he was third 3 times last year, missed the World Championship team by probably a total of less than a second in all 3 of his races, and I know he was very crushed about that. And he was on a mission, and actually at about the 125, I was a little nervous. But, you know, I was thinking, oh my gosh, Andrew, please, Josh, get first or second so he can at least make Worlds and Pan Pacs. Yeah. And he did, and he really followed through, and I think that just really shows a lot about the motivation he went through this year.
Well, it does, and it shows a lot about his character, you know, that he could come back from such a devastating summer and come back and start his summer out this way. Not start his summer out, end his summer out this way. I mean, it really is spectacular, and I should say he started off the meet this way because he's got a lot more to swim, and I'm so excited to see what he has in store for us.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about Micah Summerall earlier in the interview with Allison Schmitt. We're going to watch the highlights of her women's 200 breaststroke win where, you know, she was just the class of the field. There was nobody who was going to touch her. Lily King, who was way up there at the top, was pushing the pace early. Bethany Gallett there to the left of Micah was hammering it really this last 25, but Micah was having nothing of it. I think there's just a little bit more that Micah can do between now and Pan Pacs, because right about here I could tell she was tightening up just a little bit, not getting a lot out of her kick. And I think if she can really get those legs to get her home, I think she's definitely going to be in the 221, maybe even 220 range.
Okay, so if you're her coach, you go back to the room, you watch this race, what do you say to her to have that improvement for Tokyo?
Well, I think you just really make sure that you manage the first 100, and I think she was really, when you're doing a 200 breast, you really try to ride the glide, and that means you have to really have a powerful kick, because the kick dictates the glide. And I think maybe if you hold back on that, not say glide less, but just try not to put so much oomph into that kick to get that glide, so you have a little bit more left in that end, because, you know, again, the Japanese women are very good in the 200 breaststroke, and they do not have that. They do not have that ability to get tired, because they just keep going and going and going. And if Micah can really just be able to manage that, the last 10 meters, she's going to be unstoppable in Tokyo.
So when you watch Micah, she has a long stroke like you were talking about, right? If you watch Lily King, not as much. She does not glide as much. Would you tell Micah maybe do like something in between those two? Yeah,
maybe if she can be okay with increasing her stroke rate a little bit, gliding a little bit less, put a little less power into the kick the first 100, maybe even 150. So that last 50, you have so much in your legs, because when you're doing a 200 breaststroke, especially long course, the legs are really on the bottom of the pool, and you're really doing everything you can to just try not to keep them, you know, from falling off. So I think if Micah can really manage that, and Bethany Gallett too. I mean, she really did have strong legs, but you know, that's the issue for everybody, is just the legs fall apart. And well, maybe she wasn't even fully rested. I mean, I know that's not her best time, so I think she's looking to get her best time at Pan Pacs, and I think if she does that, what do I know? The 200 breaststroke was f***y for me. I did everything I could to make sure I didn't have 5 pianos falling on me.
Right.
And I was basically a wimp the first 100.
Yeah, Okay,
Always a win.
but you say, what do I know? And you literally just coached the entire world on the 200 breaststroke. So there you go. Jeff Cummings, Nostradamus, and Coach of the Year.
There you go. I'll take it.
There
I'll
you
take
go.
it. All right, so let's close it out here tonight. Make sure to come back to us on Deck Pass Live. I love that full moon shot. Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, 4:30 Eastern. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.